Hello, welcome to Malt. I'm Andy and this is Whisky Review number 14. What we have for you today is a Highland single malt whisky, and it's a very popular one as well, and quite rightly so. What that is, sorry, ignore that, is the Old Pulteney 12. Again, we're going for a little bottle. I have gone up through about 3 or 4 of these full size though. It just so happens that I've actually got a sample of it lying around. So I will be reviewing the 17-year-old as well at some point. I'll just put that there for, you know, so you can actually see the carton and what they look like. Now, Pulteney Distillery, as I say, is a Highland distillery. Hopefully you can see that, you know, relatively clearly. And until recently, it was actually the most northerly distillery on mainland Scotland. That wasn't until Wolfburn Distillery started back up again. Located in the little town of Wick on the northeast coast. It's windswept. It's got very much a very coastal affiliation with it. Now, let's put that in there. The 12-year-old is, as you'd imagine, their entry-level bottling, in the main range anyway, not the travel retail range. And you can pick it up for about 30 quid, sometimes less than that if you get it on sale. They do stock it in like your Tesco's, the Asda's of the world and places like that, and you can have, you know, sometimes you can pick it up for about 25 quid, which is great value for money. It is bottled at 40%. Now, as far as I'm aware, it's chill filtered and it's got a bit of added colouring in there as well, but again, tell me if I'm wrong. I'm more than happy to be corrected if that is the case. There's a bit of an interesting story to Pulteney Distillery. Now, distilleries, particularly in the past, not so much. You don't find it so much nowadays, but at one point, you know, they were getting mothballed here, there and everywhere. But Pulteney's story is a bit different. Now, a lot of you, particularly if you're watching in the US, might have heard of something called Prohibition. A very unfortunate set of circumstances. I wouldn't have lasted very long. And Wick, being quite a small community, had its own temperance movement. So Wick Parish had a temperance movement, and the Wick Parish temperance movement voted on as to whether Pulteney Distillery should be able to sell alcohol. And unfortunately the vote got passed, and as a result, because Pulteney's main trade, if you will, was actually to local fishermen, because, you know, it's a fishing town, it's on the coast, got a lot of fishermen there. You know, there was nobody to sell it to. You know, they couldn't do anything with it, so they actually shut in 1922, and the decision wasn't actually repealed for another 25 years until 1947. So that's after the Second World War. That is a long time just to be sat doing nothing. You know, the distillery shut, there's nothing going on. Yeah. An interesting but sad story. But on the plus side, you know, it's open again and making whisky. Big bonus. Now, good. Capacity at Pulteney is 1.8 million litres of spirit a year. So, you know, it's not the smallest, but it's not the largest either. There is also, in the range, I'll say you've also got 12-year-old. In terms of age, in the current lineup, the next step up is this one, which is the 17-year-old, which I will review on another day. The 21-year-old, which has won a lot of awards, including Whisky of the Year by a particular whisky writer who shall remain nameless. They've also got quite a lot of travel retail bottlings, and you know, they're proving to be quite popular as well. So yeah, quite a unique shape to the bottle. I mean, I'll get the 17-year-old out just to show you what the bottle shape is in full scale. And they actually have these bottles produced to emulate the shape of the stills, which is pretty cool. So, that's the 12-year-old. Let's see what it's got on the nose. Bottle of 40%. Very malty, sweet caramel or toffee, like a nutty toffee. What else? Let's try it. A lot of honey. That's become very apparent now, a lot of honey on there. Some citrus, wax, like candle wax or a wax jacket. More the wax jacket kind of thing, like a barber jacket. And do you know what, there's a lot of, and I know I've said this on other ones, but sort of like sea breeze saltiness in there, you know, if you're on the coast for the day and the spray's coming in and, you know, it's quite windy and you just get, you know, like sort of salty sort of spray up your nose. Like lovely sea breeze flavour notes in there. Let's try on the palate. Winston's making an appearance. Alright, Trouble. It's soft, very refined, very sweet, very sweet. Now a lot of honey on there again. Thinking sort of like crunching up cornflakes, so you've got the honey, you've got the nuttiness as well, and you've got a bit of maltiness in there still, sort of like a cereally flavour. It then leads into a bit of heat, a bit of spice, maybe cinnamon, a bit of cinnamon, just another touch. What are you doing? It's just starting to have a sniff amongst my whisky samples that are out over there that you can't see. There's a bit of fruitiness in there, but it's not something sort of like an acidic fruit. It's quite soft. Think like a juicy pear, like a nice big green pear. And again, you know, it's quite salty. And there is a chocolate note in there, so think of sea salt milk chocolate, or like a sea salt cracker kind of thing as well. Finish isn't amazingly long, but it does retain that saltiness initially, and has that sort of sweetness enveloping it quite a lot as well, which is good. Not too much oak influence. I'm getting a little bit more citrus, sort of like a lemon juice, and again maybe a bit of caramel at the end of it. I mean, overall it's a very solid and well produced Highland malt whisky, and this is a good example of what actually draws me to the Highlands a lot, because I am quite a big fan of Highland malt whisky. And it's because the variation is just massive. I mean, Speyside you get a lot of sherry bombs, don't you, and a lot of sweetness, and a lot of very sort of atypical Christmas cakey note. But in the Highlands, since such a large region in particular, and you've got a lot of coastal distilleries in there, the flavour profile actually changes quite a lot, which I quite like. I like the sort of quirkiness of it all. But I'm going to have another drop of this, because it's a very good Sunday afternoon dram. That's when I'm recording this. Good. Right. So on that note, the Old Pulteney 12-year-old, I'm going to give a score of 85 out of 100. Solid, affordable, very well priced, in fact, I'd say. Very consistent. As I say, I've had about 3 or 4 bottles of this stuff now. And it's all been very, very consistent. And it's just a very well produced, honest single malt whisky. So kudos to Pulteney. Thanks guys, thanks for watching, see you soon.